I'll call the meeting to order. We will begin with a roll call. Please identify yourself and state that you can hear everyone. And I'll start as Chairman Ronald Crutcher, and I can hear all of those that have spoken. All right, Mr. Hughes.
This is Josh Hughes, and I'm able to hear everybody all right.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Show.
This is Kenneth Jode. I can hear everyone fine.
Okay, Mr. Lee.
This is John Lee, and I can hear everyone.
And Mr. Adams.
This is Glenn Adams, and I can hear everyone.
Okay. We have the board here. Are there any other people that have logged on to listen to the meeting? If not, I will turn the meeting over to Mr. Cook to lead us through the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll just make a statement and then just remind you all of a couple of rules. This meeting is being held pursuant to Executive Order 51 issued by the Governor of the State of Tennessee. If there is no objection from the members, let the minutes reflect that the Board of Adjustment and Appeals finds it necessary that the meeting is being held electronically to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I do want to remind everyone, each vote will be by roll call. The chairman will call your name, at which time you will provide your vote. Prior to making a motion or second or asking a question or making a comment, please identify yourself. Mr. Chairman, I believe the next thing we have on the agenda is approval of the minutes.
You have been sent the minutes of our last meeting, which was August the 20th.
This conference will now be recorded.
Are there any comments, corrections to the minutes of the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, this is Glenn Adams, and I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Motion's been properly made. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Crutcher, this is Kenneth Jode. I'll second the motion to approve the minutes.
Motion's been made and seconded. We will vote on the motion to approve the minutes. Beginning with myself, I vote to approve. Mr. Adams.
This is Glenn Adams, and I vote to approve.
Mr. Hughes.
This is Josh Hughes. I vote to approve.
Lee.
This is John Lee, and I vote to approve.
And I think I've covered everyone.
Mr. Crutcher, this is Kenneth Jode. I vote to approve also.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. The vote has been taken in unanimous, and the minutes are approved. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, without objection, we will hear Carbine and Associates, Crescent Homes, Breeze Premier Homes, Old South Properties, Ryan Homes, and the Jones Company, with the exception of Lot 16 in the Otter Creek subdivision. The first argument the appellants make is that they have obtained vested rights under the Vested Rights Act of 2014, and therefore the lots at issue would not be subject to the impact fee. The Vested Rights Act provides that should a developer receive preliminary plat approval from the local authority, the development standards in place at the time of their approval remains the same throughout the development of the property. The appellants argue that the impact fee is the development standard or development regulation, which is needed to have vested rights, and therefore the impact fee would not be applicable to their lots. It is staff's stance that the impact fee is not a development regulation or development standard, and in fact is a source of revenue for the county to account for the impact new subdivisions have on our educational system. In fact, Mr. Chairman, it is our stance that the properties can be developed without ever having to pay the impact fee because it has nothing to do with the actual development of the property. The second argument the appellants make is that the fee is required to be calculated on each subdivision, and the proceeds received from that particular subdivision is required to be used on educational capital projects for that specific development. In other words, that they argue that we have to create a brand new fee for each subdivision that is brought before us. That is not what either the private act or the resolutions that created the impact fee system say. What the applicable law does say is that the legislative body has the authority and the right to create the districts as they see fit, as long as they meet the standard to address the impact of the educational impact fee. To support its decision to have a countywide fee, the legislative body determined that a countywide impact fee is needed because the ever-changing school districts, as well as the fact that development in one area of the county has an effect on schools in the other area. It is for these reasons, Mr. Chairman, that we believe that we have met the burden underneath both the act and the resolutions in the adoption of this impact fee. I do want the record to reflect that adequate public notice was given both to the public and to the applicants. For these reasons, Mr. Chairman, we ask for these appeals be denied. I will ask whether there's any of the appellants on the line. Hearing none, Mr. Chairman, be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Chairman, this is Glenn Adams, and I'll go ahead and put forth a motion that we deny the appeals.
Motion's been properly made. Do I hear a second?
This is John Lee. I second the motion.
Motion's been properly made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, we will have a voice vote, beginning with Mr. Hughes.
This is Josh Hughes, and I vote to approve the motion.
Mr. Schultz,
This is Kenneth Choate. I vote to approve the motion to deny.
Mr. Lee,
This is John Lee. I vote to approve the motion to deny.
Mr. Adams,
This is Glenn Adams, and I vote to approve the motion to deny.
this is Brian Crutcher, and I vote to approve. Will deny the appeals.
Mr. Chairman, the next appeals that we have are from Celebration Homes and Lot 16, Otter Creek subdivision. The appellants here failed to provide any basis or explanation of their appeal. However, it's the county stance that we have met the burden set forth by both the Vested Property Rights Act and the resolutions. County does maintain that we have adopted the impact fee in accordance with the private act, that vested rights have not attached because this is neither a development standard or development regulation, and there is no legal requirement the county calculate a new impact fee rate for each subdivision that comes forth. And for these reasons, Mr. Chairman, we ask for these appeals be denied. I will ask whether there is anyone on the line that's representing these appellants. Hearing none, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Having no questions come forward, the chair will entertain a motion on the position of the staff, which is to deny.
Mr. Crutcher, this is Kenneth Choate. I make a motion, we deny these appeals.
Motion's been properly made. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Chairman, this is Josh Hughes. I'll second that motion.
Motion's been properly made and seconded. We will do a roll call vote. If you vote for the motion, you're voting to deny the appeals. Beginning with Mr. Lee.
This is John Lee, and I vote for the motion to deny the appeal.
Mr. Adams.
This is Glenn Adams, and I vote for the motion to deny.
Mr. Show.
This is Kenneth Choate. I vote for the motion to deny the appeals.
Mr. Hughes.
This is Josh Hughes, and I vote for the motion to deny.
This is Ronald Crutcher, and I vote for the motion to deny the appeal. The vote is unanimous to deny the appeal. Mr. Cook, do we have any other business to come before us from the staff?
Mr. Chairman, that's all the appeals we have for you today.
Mr. Chairman, this is Joe Horn. I want to announce that the governor did in fact extend the virtual meeting executive order. So we will be meeting virtually at least through the month of September. Our next meeting being September 10th, 7:30 a.m. And that's all the announcements I would have.
Are there any other questions, comments, or business to come before the board? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, Glenn Adams, and I'll make that motion to adjourn.
All right, we are adjourned.